Welcome back, everyone, to Action Reaction, the action movie podcast with me, Zane Simon, and my co-host Troy O'Diamond. And I feel like I should say the only action movie podcast with me, Zane Simon, and Troy O'Diamond, because we don't have another one. I mean, I do other shit. He doesn't do anything else, but
let's revise this. Welcome to Action Reaction, the only action movie podcast.
There you go. Simpler, better, cuts to the chase. There aren't really any others that I've heard of. I'm sure if there were others, I'm sure I would have heard of them. So, simply through me not hearing of others, I know there aren't.
Yeah, it's clear. We haven't seen them. They don't exist. We're just dominant in this space.
And this week, we are here with a brand new theme and 2 new movies to talk about surrounding that theme. Troy, remind me again, what is our theme?
Our theme this week is overcoming expectations. We're going to get into some real overachievers here.
A really mislaid theme for our show, as anyone who's listened to it will know, as at least one of us here is a chronic underachiever.
And one of us really punches above their weight.
You can guess which one.
Vote in the poll. It's in the show notes, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll have a poll of some sort. I don't know. It'll be all about whether Troy or not, whether Troy has fulfilled his dreams and only his parents are allowed to vote in it.
Oh boy. Well, it's going to be unanimous.
Okay. Before we get to the theme this week, and while Troy's crying that one out, we have a new sponsor. This week, our show is brought to you by Bachelor Chow.
A product that I use very frequently.
Makes sense. I mean, now with flavor. So I don't know if you've tried the new flavor Bachelor Chow.
I have tried it with flavor, and let me tell you guys, it is fantastic. It's I don't want to say monumental leap forward because it was really good beforehand. It did what it needed to do, and now it's just got an extra layer to that.
Well, and I'll say, as somebody who's no longer a Bachelor Chow, but a longtime Bachelor Chow connoisseur, the thing that keeps me coming back is that it makes its own gravy. So
it really saves me a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, even if I'm not eating Bachelor Chow that night, I will actually make some Bachelor Chow just for the gravy and apply it to other things.
Oh, just pour off that gravy onto whatever else you got going on. Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I would definitely recommend Bachelor Chow. You can get it in 30, 50, and 250 pound bags, depending on your bachelor needs.
Yeah, it's available in popular warehouse stores, such as people that aren't paying us, so we don't mention them. But yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
100%. So back to exceeding expectations, and I hope everybody's here with us on this. Troy, what do you got for me? What is exceeding my expectations of you this week?
Okay, so this is a movie that I at first wasn't sure if I wanted to bring in.
Already a bad start.
Wait for it, though. Because at first I thought, maybe it doesn't quite fit the boundary of the genre. But then I realized, no, it's 2 types of movies at once that I believe you're a fan of. This is a combination action and horror movie. That's
you got me. I'm making a peaked face. If people could see me now, they would see that my interest has been piqued. My ears are perked. My eyebrows are raised.
He's very dog-like.
You know what? No, but okay. movie.
All right. So
away from my canine tendencies.
So this week we are going to be discussing a action horror movie from 2012 called Cabin in the Woods. Have you seen this movie?
You know what? I'm not going to thank you for this because I'm not going to thank you for anything ever. But if I were the kind of person to thank you for anything ever, I would probably thank you for bringing this up because I have meant to see this on several occasions and have not.
Oh man, you're in for a treat. Not to spoil anything, we'll get to it, but this probably has the second most bonkers scene of anything we've talked about on this show.
All right, what was the first one? I need to know now.
Kingsman Freebird.
Okay, fine, fair.
Tough to beat that standard. I'm not saying it's as good as that, but this movie has some payoff.
Nearly. All right. It's a high bar you've set.
For one scene.
Okay.
So there's kind of like a cold open of like some chirpy office conversation between like two balding old white dudes, and they like sit down at a control room thing and whatever. That'll pay off eventually, probably. So opening credits run, and then we kind of just have like a college teen comedy movie set up. There's like this bookish redhead named Dana, her like pretty and bubbly blonde friend Jules. There's that girl's charming and hot as hell boyfriend, it's Chris Hemsworth. I don't need to say he's hot. It's Chris Hemsworth. We know.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, geez, you really downplayed the prettiness of the women just to get to this really hot dude. But then you say it's Chris Hemsworth. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth he's always the hottest dude in everything he's in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that I can't really argue with that idea. I can't be like, oh, you're really getting turned on by Chris Hemsworth over there. I'm a little hot myself right now. I got to wave the collar out a little here.
Yeah, me too. Just thinking about him. Then there's also his friend that they're trying to kind of set up Dana with a little bit. He's named he's named Holden. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Then there's the last guy is just picture Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in real life, but very openly high.
But not the guy who played Shaggy in the real life Scooby-Doo movies.
No, this is a guy who just legitimately looks like he was modeled off of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. It's great. Okay. Yeah, and so they're this group of friends and characters. They're going to a cabin in the woods.
Right there, you brought the title full circle already.
Yeah, it gets to it quick. So they get to this cabin, and like there's some kind of weird things there. Like they each, like pick a room and whatever. And there's like a weird, out of nowhere, there's like a two-way mirror that you can see through. And Holden is looking through while Dana's changing, and like he like pounds on the wall and stops her because he's a good dude. He's just has a shitty name that I hate. Okay, but he's a good guy.
That's otherwise a very Holden move to.
Yeah.
Behind the window looking through, but pounding on it like that really, I don't know. Like now the character seems misnamed.
Yeah, he's overcoming the expectations that his parents set for him.
Fair. You're on theme so far.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's all right. And he's like, basically, they put like a drape over the window. And he's like, would you feel better if we switched rooms? She's like, yeah, that'd be better. He's nice. Everybody in this movie is like, essentially, all these people are good students and things. And they go out to a lake and have fun like college kids and do dumb shit. Nothing that bad. The stoner guy smokes some weed and they have a keg of beer. They're probably 21. It doesn't come up.
How closely does it reflect your college experience?
Very tame.
I was gonna say, you're like, hey, go have fun like college kids. I'm like, come on, Troy, think about this a little harder.
How much time do you think I spent actually enrolled in college?
Don't think it matters.
Anyways, so it's like getting late. They're doing dumb shit. They're playing Truth or Dare, and the stoner tells the hot blonde chick to go make out with a taxidermied wolf head thing on the wall. And she does. They're just some kids having fun.
Kids these days.
Yeah. So it turns out that those office guys from the cold open, they have cameras all over this fucking cabinet. And they're kind of like manipulating the people. Like they say that Jules, there's a chemical in the dye she used to go blonde that's slowly seeping in and making her actively dumber. And they're like pumping in horny chemicals and just stuff they're doing. And they hint that like the whole point of it is to get the kids to go into the cellar of this cabin. And then all of a sudden the cellar door just fucking blows open because they did it.
I guess at some point you just kind of got to cut to the chase there. You can't really like leave treats or something.
Yeah, well, also you have some drunk and high college kids at a cabin. It doesn't take a lot.
No.
So, and since they're playing Truth or Dare, as soon as the door blows open, it's like, dare you to go down there? And then eventually they're all down there looking at like this really weird, like creepy shit. There's like a old ass wedding dress and like this gothic looking orb puzzle, like an amulet, and just a bunch of weird shit. And Dana finds this diary that she starts reading, and basically the gist of it is her dad just tortures people, just tortures the family and slowly kills them, maybe eats them, cuts off her arm, makes her suffer, and then is just some weird boner stuff. It's not great.
Wait, no. Yeah. This happens in the diary or in the movie? In the diary.
Okay. They're just reading it from this diary from like 1903 or something.
Okay, about this girl's crazy life. I was like, that movie took a huge leap right there.
No. It's about to, but in a different way. So then there's like this weird Latin part at the end of it, and she starts reading it, and the stone guy's like, no, don't read the creepy Latin part. Obviously don't. This is terrifying. But she does, and boom, there's a zombie family in the woods now. The family's back as zombies.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and so right when we see them come out of the ground, it cuts back to the dudes in the office, and they had bets on it. They had bets on which thing the kids were going to find down there. And so what they got is formally known as the zombie redneck torture family.
Also, it's a very Evil Dead, I gotta say. It's a very Evil Dead setup.
It really is. And they also like hand wave away like, yeah, no, monsters and magic and stuff are real. Weird part of our job, right?
Yeah, it'd have to be. I mean, you can't, you're not gonna, you don't really have to sell that too hard when you're making a horror movie where zombies appear.
Yeah, but I need to be clear that these are the zombie redneck torture family, because on the board of bets that they made, there were also regular zombies, which are distinctly different things.
So they had
very important to the universe. Yeah. So Hemsworth and blonde chick go off into the woods, and they're just going out to bone. And it's a whole lot easier when the office folks are just hitting them with like Bone Town mist. So it's going to happen. And we got titties at 39 minutes into this movie.
See, I got to say though, I feel like there's an opportunity, a marketing tie-in opportunity missed.
For Axe body spray?
Yeah. And not even for, but for Axe body spray that actually worked and wasn't, if it actually worked, it would be even more heavily pushed towards
the worst people.
Losers.
Yeah.
But, so maybe Axe body spray, maybe that's what Axe body spray is. Maybe it really is sex myth, but the people who use it are so unfuckable that it just doesn't work.
They're beyond saving. It's bad.
Like, maybe if normal people used Axe, then it would be like, oh, wow, this is actually really great.
It might work. Somebody should test it. Not me. I'm not going to smell like that. But one of the things that I like about this movie is it is very aware that it's a horror movie, obviously. And
Yeah.
so we get our titties at 39 minutes and we get torture zombies at 40. As soon as titties are out, so are knives. It's like Hemsworth's.
It's the theme of your life, right?
It really is. It's awesome. It's like Hemsworth fights one off because he's Chris Hemsworth, but still gets like stabbed a bit. And another one gets Jules. Like, just throws a fucking bear trap that's on a chain onto her back. Just starts like dragging her back. Yeah, it's not great. Not great for her. So as soon as like she gets dragged all the way back down this chain, a third zombie cannibal torture monster has a big old fucking saw and it saws off her head. And
oh god.
Yeah, Hemsworth gets away and like runs back to the house. But then like everyone saw like, oh, there's the diary murder family zombies. They're here. This is bad. We need to keep them out. Oh god, this is awful. Horror movie. And so they're thinking, all right, we got to stick together. We got to figure out a plan. But no, office dudes just pump in chemicals that make them doubt that, and they all split up. It's great. Then like the stoner guy finds like a camera while he's locked in his room, and after they split up, it's like, oh my god, we're getting manipulated. And then a zombie just reaches through the window and drags him off into the woods. It's great. Long story short, though, Dana and Holden, they get into the basement, and like they both end up like either getting at least like knifed once or bear trapped. But they get out and they get to the RV, and Hemsworth is there. It's fine. They think they can get out, but they can't. The office guys caved in the tunnel that they had to go through to get to the house, so they're fairly well trapped at this point. Until they realize, hey, there's a canyon, and Chris Hemsworth has his dirt bike.
Oh,
are you following this? You with me so far?
I'm with you. I gotta ask. So I want to ask you a question. I don't want to shortcut you here, but I'm going to a little. Do the characters themselves actually exceed expectations, or is it just the expectation of a simple horror movie being exceeded by a batshit crazy movie?
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
All right, so there's like this big swelling score, and Hemsworth does the whole speech about like, if I wipe out on this, I will fucking limp for help. I will come back. I will bring police and helicopters and guns. And we are going to get you out of here. And this is for Jules.
Mm-hmm.
And he lines up this jump as the score hits like a swelling crescendo, and he takes off, and he's got air. He's going to make it. He has hella fucking air, and then he runs into an invisible wall and falls and dies. Because they have an invisible wall. Why not? Great. I love it. This movie's bonkers. Yeah, so now it's just Dana and Holden, and it's kind of like the same thing, but he does like we're going to get through this, we're going to get to the edge, we'll just keep fighting till we make it. You're all I got left. And then he just gets stabbed through the throat. and then at that point, it cuts to the people in the office again, and they're celebrating. Their job's done. They did what they had to do. And they mentioned like Dana's still alive, but they're like, yeah, no, we don't have to kill her as long as the other ones die first. But yeah, good for her. She tried. Tequila time. So it's basically like this office party, and like in the monitors, you see her like on a shitty dock on a lake, like fighting off the bear trap chain zombie. And it's just in the background. They don't care. Until it turns out, no, they do care because their job isn't done. The guy who looks like Shaggy, he's still alive. They didn't actually kill him. And he saves Dana with his bong, and they get away. And here's where the movie takes a twist.
Oh, Lord.
I feel like I'm losing you, and I want to let you know this is where the movie really takes off.
Okay.
The rest of this was just a build to where it gets wild. So he found the elevator that the cannibal zombies came up through, because they came up through an elevator, and he's like, where else do we go? I mean, out there's not good. So they get in this elevator and start going down, and they just see these other containers of horror movie things. And that's when they realize like the cellar was Oh, that's just where they choose which things was gonna kill them. Like that was it. Yeah, shitty moment for them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You have my rapt attention. So if I was supposed to interject there, my interjection is only to tell you to keep going.
Okay, so they get to the floor level, and everyone wants to. There's a guy with a gun who wants to kill Shaggy guy, and doesn't. He dies somehow. Doesn't matter. They get to the control room though, and they're just bloody and run ragged and traumatized. And there's this whole crew of like SWAT team running up to just fucking kill this guy. And I'm like, you know what? Empty it out. Release the fucking Kraken. And by Kraken, we mean like every horror villain ever, all at once, at the same time. So there's just this straight on shot of a bunch of fucking SWAT team security guys, and like 6 elevator doors open up. And we're fucking on. This is where it fucking goes. It's like a bat thing and a swamp creature and a robot with a whole bunch of fucking saws and like a soul stealing ghost and regular zombies. It's the regular zombies now. It's not the zombies that we saw before. It's regular zombies. And there's just blood everywhere. And a giant fucking snake. Huge fucking snake. And this happens in 3 seconds. 3 seconds this happens. It's amazing. And then they like come back. There's more SWAT guys showing up. And it's empty besides everything is covered in blood and there's some zombies eating stuff. Yeah. And then the elevators open again. Then they open again, and it's more horrors. There's like the Hellraiser knockoff guy. There's these like weird, creepy fucking mask people. There's another ghost for some reason. There's these like torture surgeons that don't have eyes. There's a unicorn. There's a werewolf. There's a ballerina with a face that's just made out of teeth. And there's a clown. And they're just running through this office, fucking everybody up. It's insane. It's all of them just parading out of these elevators, murdering everything. It's every horror movie just unleashed in a tidal wave all at once. It's fucking great.
All right, you got me. That does sound great.
They're not playing Freebird during it, but my God.
True. I regret the times I've passed on seeing this. I've had several options to and never taken the...
Oh my God, when you get to that third act, I don't even need to tell you anything more about it. Just watching that unfold is insane. It's pure horror turned action spectacle.
Oh.
And then, just to wrap the movie up, there's some stuff about the mythology and like why they all had to die their horror movie deaths. And it was to keep an old god asleep. That's why they had to die. But they didn't, so he won't. And so the end of the movie is just Shaggy or whatever and Dana smoking a joint until a like 20-story tall hand of an old god just shoots upward through the earth and rises to exterminate humanity. Run credits.
I can appreciate this, and it does seem like it exceeds expectations.
And so did they. They were all supposed to die and they didn't. And then also this movie ends with everyone dying. And for some reason, there's still talk about them doing a sequel.
Yeah, which please, I hope they don't because
because the world ends.
But so it even sounds like you may have exceeded my expectations for you. This does indeed sound much better than Smokin' Aces.
Okay, yeah, well, it's a bit like Smokin' Aces in that there's a whole bunch of murdery things converging on one spot, but this one is just like, no, let's really let that shine.
No, that's good. That sounds more like me.
Yeah, and
shining, lots of shining murdery things.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
it's basically somebody who liked action movies or horror movies just took all their action figures and poured out the toy chest.
I can roll with that. And so on this point then, see, this is a hard follow because that sounds cool.
How do you follow that?
I got to do my best because I mean I have to deliver. I'm delivering something to you that is actually good, and hopefully it will exceed expectations in that it had to follow that in your mind, and you will enjoy it quite a lot.
Okay, let's see what
So
you
it
got.
will exceed your expectations. First off, to keep it nice and low, it's not in English.
Fuck.
It is in color, however.
At least we got that. There's parts of my movie that are in Japanese, by the way.
Of course, because it's a bunch of schlocky horror shit. It has to be partially in Japanese.
Yeah.
But it's a Luc Besson movie.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, that'll pull you back in. It is, I would say, the single real saving grace of Luc Besson's career, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, is this not Leon the Professional?
It is not Leon the Professional, which I think is not bad. Luc Besson did a run of not bad movies, but Leon the Professional is kind of an overwrought melodrama that is like interesting and decent, but hard to watch a bunch. Like too much kids, too much. Oh, my family's horrible, kind of thing. All that.
Did you actually get an international release of Brick Mansions then?
No, I did not get an international release of Brick Mansions. You, my good friend, are watching La Femme Nikita.
All right.
You've not seen La Femme Nikita, right?
No, but I know what one of those words means, so we're off to at least an okay start.
It is the art in Luc Besson's oeuvre. And the part of prefacing this as well, because I want to talk about this whole exceeding expectations idea, and I want to get down to that more than just throwing a bunch of movie monsters out of elevators, which sounds very cool, I'll admit. But what better way to exceed expectations than with the story of Pygmalion, right?
Didn't we already do one of these?
Did we?
It's like one of our first episodes, I thought.
No, I brought up, I think, we brought up Pygmalion and My Fair Lady at some point, but I don't think it was for a movie. I think it was just me talking. It was me trying to educate you along the route to something else.
It was you talking about Kingsman. That's what it was.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, it was you, and this is you picking the themes, and that was your movie. So fuck you. I don't have to.
Fair enough.
I don't have to justify myself to you.
Well, you do, because you have to exceed some expectations.
All right. But
all right, let's hear about this movie.
Pygmalion, the classic story of the sculptor who builds a sculpture and falls in love with it, and it rejects him and fucks his life up, basically.
Yeah, don't stick your dick in clay.
Very much the core message here. And so Nikita starts out, it's a movie, it starts out with this gang of thugs going to break into and rob a pharmacy to get some prescription drugs to get high on.
Cool.
And turns out that the pharmacy is owned by the father of one of the thugs, who comes downstairs and catches him in the act and called the police before he came downstairs because he could hear them trying to break in. And it immediately devolves into a huge gun battle with the police where everybody dies.
Nice!
Except one woman who was strung out and is hiding in a cupboard under the counter. And the cops find her, and the cop walks up kneels down to grab her. And right as he does, she takes a pistol and she sticks it under his chin and pulls the trigger and blows the back of his head out.
Hell yeah. That's how you do it.
And immediately she gets arrested because she's strung out. She's not like, it's not like she's with it. She's just totally, not even doped up, but trying to, fighting the shakes. And
who among us?
She gets arrested and she's going through this, the system. They're processing her and all this. And this cop is like, what's your name? And she says Nikita, and he's like, okay, cutie, don't give me any of your lip. And she's like, oh, okay, my name's Cutie, and he slaps her, and then hands her some paperwork to fill out. And while he has his hands on the table, she takes the pencil and stabs him in the hand really hard.
The old John Wick.
You cut forward. She gets sentenced to life in prison. And
for what?
For killing a cop.
Oh.
Remember? Stay with me here. She gets sentenced to life in prison, and you cut forward again, and she's getting executed by lethal injection. And she's like, why, like, what are you doing? You can't do this. You need to tell my family and all that. And like, oh, we told your family. It's fine. And then she wakes up in a different prison cell somewhere else with this dude who's like, you're now legally dead, and we're going to turn you into a super spy.
Cool.
And she's just like strung out gutter trash who has no social skills but an incredible penchant for violence, and has to be molded into this like super spy, basically. So you go through all of these like building her up expectations where they're trying to teach her martial arts, and like the judo master comes up to her and squares up to her. It's like, I'm in my stance, try and hit me, and she just slaps him in the face. And then like later on, he calls her back up to demonstrate in front of the class, and he just grabs her and throws her to the ground. And then as he's about to like tell the class what he did and like how she should have been better prepared, she bites his ear off and then stands up and kicks him in the face and knocks him out.
Nice. I was hoping that was going to be a kick to the nuts, but I'll take it.
Yeah. And she can shoot a gun a bunch, and she's otherwise just a complete fuck up still. And so finally, the guy's boss tells the guy who took her in and decided that he wanted to make her a spy. His boss tells him she's got 2 weeks to turn it around, or basically we throw her out, which basically means they actually kill her.
Oh, a little harsh.
Yeah, well, she killed a cop. I mean,
who among us?
Who among us? That's right. Honestly, not as bad as it seems. We've all been there.
We've all been in some difficult situations and made some rash decisions before.
Maybe not cop killing. That seems a little harsh, and I don't want to advocate for killing cops because that nobody deserves it. But
look, all I'm saying is that running is fine.
So she's got 2 weeks to turn around, and they basically demonstrate her character turning arc with her going to this woman who's sort of leading her, trying to develop and make her more refined.
Okay.
And she goes to this woman and is basically like, help me out. I actually need to learn how to act like a real person. And from there, you jump like 3 years, and she's a fully trained spy agent.
All right.
There's like a great line in that, though, as it goes, with where the woman who she turns to for help says, smile when you don't know something. Let's see. You won't be any smarter, but it'll be nice for others. That's because that's what they're working with. She's like really dumb and trashy. Jump 3 years later, and it's
she's in a department store saying, "You people work on commission, right?"
That's
Big
right.
mistake. Huge.
And so, it jumped 3 years later, and she's Anne Pulliard still. Let me see if I'm actually saying that right. And
You
yeah,
realize I'm the only person who can correct you live, and I have no idea.
Anne Parlaud.
Okay.
And, she is fit as hell, and wearing all the slinky dresses and with her hair all styled and cut short. And her boss, she is like, it's her 23rd birthday, and her boss is like, she's going out to dinner with him. She's all fixed up and looking all nice, and they're gonna have dinner in the central office because she has basically been on lockdown for the last 3 years.
All right.
As she's been getting her spy training. And he's like, no, let's go out tonight. And he takes her to a restaurant. And this is like super glitzy, fancy restaurant. And hands her a present. She opens it, and it's a big fucking gun.
Nice.
He's like, see that guy behind you? You have 2 minutes to kill him. I'm out of here. And that's her birthday present. He's like, and there's an escape window in the blast stall of the bathroom. Afterward, we'll have a car waiting for you. Go. And she gets up, she shoots the dude, she runs to the bathroom, and the window's bricked up. And suddenly the place is like filling up with dudes, and you have a huge epic gun battle. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, this is great for 2 reasons. One, because it sounds like a great scene, and also because my mom's birthday is coming up, and I had no idea what to get her until now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a gift for any occasion. It had like this nice wooden box, and it's like a big like Desert Eagle looking gun. I don't even know what it was. Something massive.
We need to find whatever app is disrupting gourmet gun sales. Whatever. They're going to sponsor our next show.
That's true. That's true. We need that. I'm sure some tech startup dude who thought who had just reinvented the bus is now thinking, I bet I could get guns to people even quicker.
Yeah. What we need is basically a delivery service for guns. But when people really need them quickly.
What it would be is it would set up a legal gun show outside your house on a moment's notice.
Yeah, no, it's a digital gun show. And while people are navigating the 3D showroom in the app, then they're able to purchase online. And then we just have, I don't know, what's the messenger service app? Whatever. They'll do it. They'll deliver it. And then get the fuck out of there.
It'll be I bet you could get it by drone. You get drones to drop a gun on your house?
Maybe. Look, all I'm saying is Postmates, but for guns.
Anyway, so this becomes a major theme in the movie, as well as the overcoming expectations, because she's obviously a super badass killing machine.
Yep.
And but it's also her job is just like constantly involves her getting fucked over. So she gets out of the restaurant alive and goes back to the spy agent, gets ready to start beating the guy that sent her on the mission.
Right.
And he's like, no, you get out tomorrow. We had to test you, and this is how we do it, and you're done now. You can actually go like have a normal life. And so she goes and she has starts a normal life. She gets an apartment, she meets a dude, she starts a relationship, she's getting all this good stuff. And then she gets a call to go on another job.
There it is.
And this time all she has to do, she shows up, and all she has to do literally is carry a tray with a bug in it up to a guy's hotel room and then leave.
Okay, sure.
Everything's going great. Everything's easy. She has her boss over for dinner as like, and he pretends to be your uncle, and he develops this whole fake backstory about her childhood for her and all of that.
Aw.
And he gives her tickets to go to Venice with her fiance to go on this big romantic trip. And they're like, you see them, they're driving around the canals, they're having all this fun. They get back to their hotel room, they order room service, and then she gets a phone call, and it's like, there's a sniper rifle in your bathroom, and you need to get a headset on and go in there right now.
Oh, and it sounded like the job had such good perks.
Exactly.
Those are
And
those
so,
good bennies.
she's like, they're about to have sex. She's like, I gotta go take a bath. And then she's in the bathroom assembling a sniper rifle and with an earpiece on. And they're like, okay, you see this person getting out of this boat right now? You need to punch a hole in the window, take the rifle, and you need to shoot them right now. And she does it, and it's awful, and it's super stressful. But then she gets to put together her own big job by herself. She gets to lead a team. And
This sounds like a very progressive organization.
It's French super spies. They're all about like no religion and I don't know, trying to be progressive and hating Arabs. I think that's most of
Well, that's just France going back for as long as France. But
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like there's a road upward to management for women in this company, and we should applaud them for that.
Yeah, it's definitely true. So she puts together this team, and they're going to do this job where they go to find a government minister who is keeping some paperwork. I can't remember what now. That's like secretive, and they have to steal these documents he has. I believe he's like a diplomat. He's a diplomat for another government.
All right.
And he has a mistress, and he goes there every day, and all that. So they build this whole thing where they get a guy to look like him, and they're going to find him at the mistress's house and drug him, take his place, and go to his office to get his papers.
All right. Straightforward.
Unfortunately, and there's like a password that they need to get and all, or that they're supposed to have along the way. They're supposed to have a password that'll let them in to get his papers once they replace him. But they get there and they get in the apartment and they're about to like pull off or they drug him and they're gonna replace him, and they find out that the passwords have been changed.
Oh.
And that they don't have the codes to go. They don't have the ability to go forward, but they're not allowed to call the job off. Like they have to keep going.
Okay, and these are what they need to get the papers that they're looking for.
Yeah, to get the documents.
Is the code word Jimmy 2 times?
It is not Jimmy 2 times.
You got to get the papers, get the papers.
God damn it. Oh, when I forgot a joke and it comes back years later.
I mean, I teed up the Goodfellas right there for you, man.
You did. You did. Oh, God. So, things are getting messy, and the spies that are the people who are in charge decide to send a cleaner to help move the job along. And the cleaner is Jean Reno.
I was going to ask when Jean Reno was going to show up. I'm so glad he did.
It's basically a test run for his role in The Professional. Like, it's the exact same role, playing the exact same character.
Okay, so he's auditioning for that. Awesome.
Except in this, he's like a kill-crazy, psychotic douchebag. And
all right,
he makes things worse by killing the replacement that they had because he wouldn't go through. He refused to go through. He didn't have the codes. He couldn't get in. He was going to be found out, and he refused. So Jean Reno just kills him. And then they have to dispose of the bodies. And so he starts to fill a tub with acid that they're going to dump these bodies that they've killed in to get rid of them. But one of them isn't actually dead. So he's like holding the guy down in a tub full of acid.
Classic genre, no.
And things are just going way off the rails here. But what they decide to do is decide to have Nikita play the guy, the minister, and replace him. And they're just gonna try and do it. They don't really have the clearance. They don't really have anything they need. They're just gonna go for it.
All right.
And she gets in and is getting the papers, but she doesn't. They're getting found out, and Jean Reno just goes kill crazy, and everybody's dying everywhere.
I love this. I love this movie already.
And they finally she jumps in the car with him. They're driving off, and they drive through a wall, and he has been shot, and he just dies. And she's left alone. She's the only person left alive. She got the paperwork she needed. They completed the job, but everybody is dead but her. And
so she succeeded.
More or less, yeah. She exceeded the expectations of the situation, given where it was going, given how totally screwed up everything had gotten. She exceeded expectations.
It sounds like she just met the expectations of get these documents.
I think once the job had been mostly canceled, that's exceeding expectations. They had been forced to go ahead, but there's no real way for them to do it.
Fair enough, I guess.
At that point, she's been fucked over on 3 of the 4 jobs she's had to do for the spy agency.
Right.
And so, she goes back home, and her husband's or her fiance, who may be a husband at that point, it's basically I know what you do. This isn't a secret. Not really. And then he wakes up the next morning, and she's gone. And there's a package, and the police show up, or the agency shows up to arrest her. And they're like, oh, she's got the documents. We've got to chase her. And he's like, no, the documents are right here. I got them. And he's like, oh, and her husband's like, oh, and she left you a message, or a letter too. He's like, what did it say? He's like, oh, I tore it up.
Why?
Because what it really said is that, she kind of still loved her old boss, even though he was fucking her over all the time. And her husband really hated what they'd done to her, and he didn't want there to be any last connection between them. That was just a vindictive move.
Yeah, kind of a dick. I get why she bailed.
No, he was a good guy. She bailed because she was a spy, and she was getting fucked over, and I'm starting to sound like Christopher Walken. And
yeah, you did get a little Walken-y there.
I don't know how that happened. Anyway, I mean, it's this great. It could have fit for our rags to riches angle, which is similarly. I mean, exceeding expectations is kind of a rags to riches thing for me. Maybe not, but
I think that's meeting the expectations of America. But here you come in with some foreign movies that don't have the same work ethic as we do over here.
Oh, Lord.
What with their unions and 36-hour work weeks in France?
I am not. Maybe then that's why she's exceeding expectations. She's French. She's not supposed to work as hard as she does.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, she gets things done. She actually does the job she's been paid to do. She didn't even go on strike.
Yeah, and then she answered her emails after work without counting it as overtime pay.
Yeah. It's very American.
She's an American hero now.
That's right. So, yeah, I mean, it's the big thing otherwise, this movie it's sort of the best thing. Not only is it the best thing that Luc Besson ever made, but it sort of ends up being the movie that he then would go on to remake several times, where You just then get Leon the Professional spinning off of it. It's basically The Fifth Element, but with actual character arcs and not just, here's a super being. Oh, the only thing that can save the planet is if Bruce Willis wants to fuck her.
Yeah. I'm seeing some parallels with Lucy.
We're not going past Fifth Element for Luc Besson.
Why not? We're not doing the transporter?
Oh, God. Ever a director fell off a fucking cliff.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what Valerian is like. That's coming out this year. It's going to be crazy, probably.
I have a slight sinking feeling that it may be your favorite thing that you've ever seen ever.
It's one of those movies that I'm either going to feel really good about going to see in theaters or very upset.
Oh.
It's a city of 1,000 planets.
Don't even know what that means.
It's the full title.
I don't know what a city of 1,000 planets is, though.
Me either. I can't wait to find out.
So yeah, it is essentially that Luc Besson had one really good idea, and this was it, and then he stretched that into a whole filmmaking career.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Yeah, it's
some people manage to do that with quality. Some people manage to do it with volume. And,
he's very much a volume, and it's also like, I mean, I don't know how much early Luc Besson you've seen. Probably not a lot, but it is also the high of Luc Besson film soundtracking as well, which means that like super loud, like bassy pop score. Synth pop scores.
I'm into this. Oh man, you made me forget that it's not in English.
It is. I know it's in French, but it is literally, honestly, one of the best action movies ever made. Really is.
All right. Well, that's where you're setting the expectations.
I am,
and overcome them.
It will overcome them. If nothing else, like the scene of Nikita in the restaurant, like that first time when she gets the gun, it's just like, you got to go kill these dudes now, is like one of the all-time great action setups and scenes.
All right. Sounds like we're both giving each other at least one bonkers great action scene. No matter what we think about the rest of the movie, we're going to have something that's going to be entertaining and fun for each other.
That's right. We've both set the expectation high. So
I'm feeling good about it.
You're feeling good about it? I'm glad. Because I am questioning myself every step of the way.
That's your first problem.
Yeah, well.
I mean, like with that attitude, of course.
All right. On that note, we will be back in just a few days with our preview screening of Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah, we got tickets to the premiere. We're going red carpet. I don't know which one of us is going to be wearing a fancy dress. Maybe neither of us. Maybe both of us. We'll find out.
Absolutely. On that note, you can find me on Twitter at TheZaneSimon. You can find Troy on Twitter at PDLMMA. And give us a like over on YouTube and on SoundCloud, and share our shit. Subscribe to our SoundCloud channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All that good stuff.
If you have any family with birthdays coming up, you can give them the gift of a subscription to our channel on SoundCloud, and just tell them that you spent money on it, and that's what you can do for them.
Exactly. That they, with the quality like this, who would ever doubt that it was free?
Yeah. It's even easier than stealing flowers out of a neighbor's garden right when you get there.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. See you in a few days.
Bye, everybody.